Hi guys, this is GSMDome.com and I'm here with the unboxing of the Xiaomi 17 Ultra, not the Leica Lite version, the standard one, the ultra wide 16 gigs RAM, 512 gigabytes of storage. So let's go. It's a camera phone for sure, just like the predecessors, the 15 Ultra, the 14 Ultra and so forth. And here we go. The biggest change is that we are lacking the dual telephoto camera. We get a single telephoto camera, 200 megapixel one with a special setup which has optomechanic lenses. Basically the lenses will move around to create a continuous zoom level. Now, first things first, of course, this is an unboxing, but I'm going to make it quite long, not quite a review, even though I performed quite a few tests. Keep in mind that since I have the phone ahead of its launch, not all the benchmarks are working. For example, Antutu 11 is not working, 3D Mark is not working, GFX Bench is not working, or maybe it's just dead. So, as the device boots up HyperOS 3.0, we're going to have another look at it and see what's inside the box. Okay, so we're in Europe and the rumored price tag for the device is 1,499 euros. We are not getting the Xiaomi 14 Pro Max or the 14 Pro, just the regular 17 and the 17 Ultra. We have here the key used to access the slots, and I mean only nano SIM, although in the near future we're going to get rid of that on the account of the Apple trend of only having eSIM. The cable from USB-C to USB-A is here as well. We also get a case which is transparent and pretty tough. Other extras in the box, I see we have here safety information as well as this selection of, stickers from the European Union. The energy level, battery rating, drop rating, ease of repair, battery cycles and IP certification. Plus we also have this manual here and the quick start guide and warranty card, and that's that. Okay. We've taken care of everything inside the box. Now let's talk about the actual device. The first shocker, let's put it close to my microphone. This definitely sounds like plastic. It's supposed to be a sort of reinforced plastic with fiber. Now, Xiaomi is not saying what type of fiber, but my guess is that it's not glass fiber. Anyway, it's supposed to keep the phone lighter because of using plastic. Now, this is aluminum, just in case you're wondering, and I have to mention that the phone here weighs 218.4 grams, or 219 if you want the starlit green version, which is quite beautiful, 8.29 millimeters in thickness and 162.9 millimeters, compared to the predecessor which had 161.3 millimeters in length. Keep in mind that the biggest change here probably is the diagonal increase. Back in the day, Xiaomi used to brag about keeping things compact with 6.2 inch or 6.3 inch phone. This is a huge 6.9 inch screen handset. It's got IP68 certification, and the back side is rather matte, doesn't do fingerprints. And aside from the white version, we have a green version and a black version. An odd thing is that the buttons here remind me of the iPhone 4. You can see they're circular and small. One of the smallest power buttons I've ever seen in my life, and no camera or AI button here. Now let's talk about the design. Let's talk about the display since you just covered the design. So the screen has increased in size. It's now at the level of the iPhone 17 Pro Max and the Galaxy S25 Ultra. We're dealing here with an OLED panel, a pretty generous OLED panel, I have to say. This one here is a 6.9 inch screen. OLED Hyper RGB LTPO is protected by the Xiaomi Shield Glass 3.0, and the resolution is actually smaller than the predecessor. It's 200, let's see how to phrase this, 2608 over 1200 pixels. Keep in mind that the Xiaomi 15 Ultra had something like 3200 over 1440. Of course, we're getting all the bells and whistles like the refresh rate, which can be tweaked on account of the LTPO panel. Lots of options here for the brightness, a special sunlight mode, advanced textures, and of course, you can play around with the colors. Now we're going to go inside the phone, see what's sticking in there. Okay, so now inside the phone we have here a pretty impressive setup, albeit an unexpected one for a current flagship. So this device comes here with a Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen5 3nm CPU, 8 cores of the Orion kind, and the Adreno 840 GPU, the successor of the Snapdragon 8 Elite. We have here the version of handset which comes with 16 gigs of RAM. You can add 6 extra from the options, and we have 512 gigabytes of storage. Now, that's that as far as this is concerned. Of course, there's obviously no micro SD card slot, and Xiaomi hasn't bragged too much about any vapor chamber or cool cryo system or something like that. I'm guessing that it's basically the same as its rivals, because nowadays you do need graphite, copper, heat sinks, cooling mechanisms of all sorts. Now, as far as the battery is concerned, you're going to really have to look that up, and I think I'm going to have to download the AIDA app to show you, because the battery capacity fluctuates depending on the market. Here it is. Now, we have here what's listed as a 6,800 mAh battery, which is quite impressive to see, although officially we're told that we're getting a 6,000 mAh battery, so we should definitely check that from multiple sources. Detailed info and specs, CPU, OS, model, baseband, internal storage, status, battery level, battery status. Yeah, pretty interesting to see that in AIDA. As far as I know officially, the version we have here should be 6,000. Now, in China, it's 6,800 mAh, and the charging has dropped a bit. You are getting 90 watts wired wireless charging like the 15 Ultra, but the wireless charging has dropped from 80 watts to 50 watts. It's still pretty potent compared to what we have nowadays. There's also reverse wireless charging, where you put a device here and charge it via this handset. Now, aside from that, I should probably mention the acoustics. We are no longer getting special holes here at the top side, neither for the infrared emitter, neither for the speaker. The speaker is here, it's the earpiece for the calls. We have the bottom speaker here, which is quite generous in the number of holes. Next to it, USB-C. It's 3.2, Gen 2, I think, with OTG and DisplayPort, and this is the nano SIM card slot and a microphone next to it. Be careful so you don't insert the SIM key here, as I sometimes do with the microphone, and break it. Haven't broken one, but pretty close. So, speakers, stereo, this one here and the top one, 24-bit promise, and of course a lot of customization from Xiaomi. Samsung and Xiaomi are probably the companies with the most customization when it comes to sound. We got Xiaomi sound, and we also got Dolby Atmos. It's your choice. Now, moving further from the acoustics, I think it's time to address the connectivity. As is the trend nowadays, Xiaomi is getting closer to the Apple ecosystem, but not only that. So, we have interconnectivity here, as you can see, with a car, with a laptop, with a watch, and things like that. We have Cast, we have Xiaomi Share. But aside from that, we also have Wi-Fi 7, 5G, and believe it or not, Bluetooth 5.4. I was actually sure it's 6.0, but never mind that. So yeah, GPS dual band, there's NFC and infrared. This is USB-C 3.2, as I mentioned before. We have eSIM support, and we have all those goodness here, but it doesn't end here. We have even more connectivity options: portable hotspot, airplane mode, VPN, then DNS, printing, link to Windows, wireless display, and so much more. Quick share is also available here, and you can interconnect your device with the iOS devices, macOS devices, and etc. I'm going to leave the camera last as we talk about the software. It's actually my first contact with HyperOS 3.0, applied on top of Android 16, with Android 17 just getting to beta these days. Now, I'm not noticing much change from the previous HyperOS 2.0, although you will see some changes in the interface and fluidity of the animations. You also have this ability to customize things with these widgets. I have to admit, they're better looking now. Everybody's copying from Apple and it's iOS 26, but somehow Xiaomi is copying less than Honor with Honor Magic OS 10. Somehow, for some reason. We have the Xiaomi Smart Hub here, which allows you to interconnect with all sorts of devices around the house, anything from a car to a speaker to a TV set, and even more. Now, aside from that, as I said before, the interface has changed a bit in icons. The gallery is more clear and better looking, and of course you have all the bells and whistles of AI. So if you press this one here, you're going to use Ultra HD, AI Beautify, exposure, brightness, light, highlights, more, markup, create and portrait, and once again, a lot of things. You can also mess around with the colors and the details. Actually, very well organized set of options here to play around with it. Now, if you keep pressed here, you're going to trigger, obviously, the circle to search, but you have to sign in to do that. So let me just sign in. Okay, so circle to search is part of the package. You keep pressed here and you basically just have to circle something and you're going to look it up online and find it. You can also recognize songs and you can also translate what's on the screen. Just one example. If you keep the side button pressed, you're going to trigger Gemini, which is available here. With Nano Banana, you can create images, find recipes, and so much more. On the productivity side of things, we have quite a few things here in the Notes application. You can allow it to create notes. You have here audio, for example, and this is the AI part. You can enter prompts. It uses deep think. You can create a trip checklist. It can rewrite your text for you, and it can also change the tone and correct your text and so much more. You also have this option here, but it's downloading updates. Quite a few languages are available, just so you know. You also have the voice recording here, and you can actually do the voice recording in another application like Recorder and have your recording can be easily converted into text, and you can then sum it up as a summary, translate it, or have multiple speakers marked. So if you're a journalist, that's great for you. Okay, so it recognizes that it's in English, and I have to say it's faster than I've seen on the HyperOS 2.0 on the Xiaomi 15T last year. Not very sure what the situation is when it comes to multiple updates. How many years of updates? I would say 4. Would be nice to have 7, but yeah. Okay, so AI writing, you can also do wallpapers with AI, you have AI interpreter, AI subtitles, and more. So basically you can see the whole suite here in the Xiaomi, Hyper AI. There's this section. So writing assistant is here for you. It can help you craft better writing. Then you have the dynamic wallpapers. You can make a still photo into a moving one. You also have the creativity assistant with the options I showed you before: Ultra HD, Beautify, Image Expansion, Erase Pro, and more. Speech recognition is for transcription, distinguished speakers, and more. And then we have interpreter, subtitles, and of course search. Once again, not much has changed from the 15T. Now, I think it's time to also address that there's a fingerprint scanner in the screen. It's here somewhere. It's of the ultrasonic variety, and I think it's time to finally address the camera. It's possibly the biggest upgrade from the Ultra series over the past years. Now, the main camera is a 50 megapixel shooter with a Light Fusion 1050L 1-inch sensor with LOFIC HDR support. Some people say it's an OmniVision sensor. Once again, 1-inch sensor capable of 8K shooting. Now, we do have a periscope camera here. It's a brand new telephoto 200 megapixel camera with optomechanical zoom between 75 and 100 millimeter focal lengths. It's a Samsung ISOCELL HPE sensor, and it's kind of cool actually to see this on a non-Sony device. Sony usually delivers a variable optical continuous zoom. Aside from that, we also have something more interesting here. We have Leica APO, which eliminates chromatic aberrations. So this telephoto is certified by Leica APO. Speaking of Leica, you can see here the logo. We got Leica lenses and Leica technology as usual. Finally, ultra-wide camera, 50 megapixels, Samsung ISOCELL GN5, 115 degrees of field of view, macro at 5 centimeters, and a laser focus mechanism and a color sensor all included here. At the front, we have a 50 megapixel camera which is embedded in the screen, and it has autofocus, which is always good news, as well as 4K 60 frames per second capture. Now, if you go here, you're going to be triggering your very own 200 megapixel shots with various focals. We got a document capture here, we got a portrait capture here with master portrait included, which can be triggered Leica or master portrait. This is the photo section, and you can see here the variable zoom with some steps and focus between 3.2 and 4.3, which is the continuous zoom I mentioned before. Basically, a bunch of lenses are moving towards a prism to create this zoom. Xiaomi even promises you can reach 17x optical level zoom, which is a pretty bold promise. Here you got a video capture, you can switch up to 8K. There's also other options like slow motion, long exposure, fast shot, and movie. Forgot to show you the styles. We got Leica Authentic and we got Leica Vibrant, depending on what your preference is. We also got motion capture if anyone is into that. Authentic seems better. We got a Pro mode where you can switch. This is video. You can also switch to photo if you want. You can take raw files aside from RAW. You can also mess around here with a bunch of presets. They're not filters exactly, but rather calibrations of the exposure, white balance, ISO, and so forth for a slow shutter, quick snap, or even a documentary. If you go to this one here, you can play around with log capture. That should be part of the package. Let's see what the options are. So multicam setup, auto exposure, settings and log, and Dolby Vision is also part of the experience. Here you can see also more. And by the way, we also have a teleprompter for people in need of that. And finally, this is probably the most interesting part. It's called live cinematography. So it's a more interesting feature where you can actually regulate your own level of zoom and aperture to better suit your needs and create a DSLR-like experience. We have here a bunch of situations: red carpet, portrait, freestyle, and Ultra HD Live. This requires some tinkering to get the ideal setup for your needs. At its core, that's what the camera is about: a brand new 200 megapixel shooter, just like the other big companies on the market, but with continuous zoom and Leica know-how. This is the current camera phone. There's also another version out there which has a special ring and attachments next to it in order to replace the button we don't have here. So at first sight, a lot of promise. I can already show you some of the captures I have taken, and they're quite stunning. Coming after the Motorola Signature, which is excellent, and coming after the Honor Magic 8 Pro, which was also rather good, this is actually, to be honest, taking the cake. It feels like a more realistic approach. Some companies out there tend to exaggerate with the yellows and the greens and the reds, but this one caters to a more, I would say, natural audience. If you want natural photos and an impressive level of zoom, the Xiaomi 17 Ultra may just be for you. First contact, unboxing, and we're ready for the review pretty soon. That's it from us. Goodbye.